a clear grasp of what could be.
It's one thing to complain about problems. It's another thing to come up with solutions.
Welcome to the R&D section of Fundibots. This is where all the robot magic happens.
This week, meet 3 African changemakers impacting their communities through education, training, and innovation. On the move, changing perceptions, pushing limits. Today's Africa is not framed by the past. A new generation is stepping up, embracing tradition while blazing a new path, giving voice to unique style, connected in ways others before were not. This is where the urban pulse meets creativity and a new culture thrives. This is African Voices.
I think it's just that urge in you that always want to question things and to not be contented with the status quo that will make you achieve the impossible. As I look forward and towards the future, I see girls with ability to realize their dreams. I'm hopeful for the future. My Africa is vibrant, unapologetic, and highly potential. I'm Rebecca Gyumi, a girls advocate from Tanzania.
Rebecca Gyumi runs the Michana Initiative. Established in 2016, the NGO advocates for girls' rights and empowerment in Tanzania.
What's up today? Leo tuna nini? Good morning. Good morning. Wazima. How is your day? I think let's convene now, okay? So my day would normally start with coming to the office and checking the emails, and after that, I'll have a meeting with all staff. Oh, yes. Are we all here? Yeah. Okay. Our work is primarily on 4 main areas. We work on reaching girls directly, but we also focus on reaching the communities because we also believe that girls are not living on sort of like an island. They're surrounded by people. We invest a lot of time in working with the systems that are supposed to protect the girls or enforcing the laws. And the last one is we do strategic litigation. You are also following up the letters. The letters at the district. Yeah. We are currently operating in 6 regions in Tanzania. And with our initiative, we've been able to reach more than 15,000 girls directly through our Msichana clubs.
A lawyer by trade, Rebecca prefers to be known for the work she does on the ground rather than in the courts.
I'm taking you to one of our girls' clubs. We have like 60 of them in the country. It's in Dar es Salaam. We felt we could contribute in impacting the lives of girls in this particular school, build their confidence, create a safe space where they'll be able to talk about their issues. This is the school. Hey, you! Msichana mwenye ndoto ni? Yes, they say a girl with a dream is fire. So the women like Asha Rose Migiro, a former Deputy Secretary General of the UN, she was from Tanzania, and I really liked how she was convinced in her passion. And I came to learn that she was a lawyer. So from primary school, I was like, I'm going to be like her.
A rising academic in secondary school, her father and teachers had other plans for Rebecca.
I quit science subject, and my teacher was so livid. He was so angry. He was like, Rebecca, you are actually leading in these subjects. Why are you dropping? And I had to be rebellious and say, I'm going to follow my heart.
At university, she did just that and enlisted in legal studies with a focus on women's rights.
I've sort of like grew up believing that, women, girls really are an integral part in ensuring that the family and the community thrive.
Rebecca Gyumi,
So today, as we sort of like celebrating human rights defenders, I would like to say that it's critical that we also understand we are at the moment where many places all over the world, we are seeing a situation where young women, and women in particular, are not able to realize their full potential.
Prior to this prestigious award, Rebecca has been recognized nationally and internationally for her work in advancing girls' rights. But the accolades are not what motivates her.
People are looking at you like seeing hope in you, and I feel that for me brings that sense of responsibility, because I felt overwhelmed with joy, but at the same time I felt I have work to do. The voice of reason, the voice of really ensuring that we are on track with the agenda that we have as a global community. For our generation and the next generation, I think we have work to do, definitely, but I'll just say I think we are the ones we've been waiting for.
When I was growing up, I was very passionate about science, about tech. I loved to understand how the world worked. I wanted to understand this mystery of technology that was happening around me. I was trying to build robots as a child. I was trying to create machines that were moving on their own, but there was a bit of frustration because the material that I was looking for was not being taught in schools. And so around that time is when the idea of a space where kids like me could thrive, could grow, could be mentored and guided. Around that time, the idea began forming. My Africa is vibrant, dynamic, and infinite. My name is Solomon King Benge from Kampala, Uganda, and I'm the founder of Fundibots. And this is my Africa. At some point in my senior 2 or senior 3, I discovered this wonderful book called The Engineer in Wonderland. And I loved the book so much. It was a wonderful series of experiments. And so I went to my physics teacher and excitedly asked him if we could do this experiment in the classroom. And he looked at the book and said, this is irrelevant because it's not in your school curriculum. And so for me, that was a pretty devastating moment. And I told myself that if I was ever able to make enough money, that I would create a space where students like me could thrive.
In 2011, Solomon founded Fundibots, a non-profit organization dedicated to promoting practical science education through robotics.
The mission of Fundibots is basically to accelerate science learning in Africa. We are creating tools, systems, and processes to help students learn science better, whether they're in schools or outside of schools. The programs that run at Fundibots are based on the core methodology of practical learning. Our 3 core program areas are the schools and curriculum program, which happens within the school system, where we go to schools and help them learn science better. The second is the skills and careers program, which basically works with older students and university students and helps them prepare better for careers by giving them practical learning. And then lastly is our innovators and change makers program, which basically asks students and encourages students to look at challenges within their community and try and solve them using the technology that they've learned.
The Fundibots team build and design their own robots here in their research and development lab.
Welcome to the R&D section of Fundibots. This is where all the robot magic happens. So this place basically is a place where we build curriculum tools, we do student projects, we work with university students, but most importantly, it's a place where the innovation actually happens. So everything that we use within Fundibots starts in here and then goes out to the schools. This little area is basically showing some of the robots that we've built. Some of these are used for education. That's one of the ones we use in schools. These 2 are under development, and this is a more advanced version. So over here is a 3D printer, a 3D printing station. We have 3 3D printers. And what we do basically here is to build prototypes of machines, devices that we can use within classrooms. So a lot of the things that you see being done here, like this green section of the board, have been built by the 3D printer. So right now, our primary learning tool is robotics. The journey and the process of building that robot exposes them to a lot of fields in science. This includes electrical engineering because the robots need to be able to work using electricity. It includes computer programming because the robots need to be given a specific set of instructions. And then it also includes things like mechanical engineering because robots need to move physically. Our program operates in multiple areas. We are currently in 4 regions within Uganda. We're in the central region, eastern region, northern and western. But we also do trainings in countries like Tanzania and Rwanda, and we're planning to expand more aggressively across the continent. The point at which I realized Fundibots had become something special for me, I think my favorite scenario was when an entire crowd of students screaming excitedly because they're seeing a robot walking across the demonstration table. So for me, those are little magical moments where you realize that the work you're doing is important, not just because you're transforming education, but because you're changing lives. The vision we have for Fundibots is basically an Africa in which science is embraced, in which science is taught well, in which students are actually harnessing the power of science to transform their communities, which means they're studying it well in their schools, they're using it very strongly in their careers, but also they're being creative with the technology that they have learned to solve problems.
Education is really the door to opportunity. So I'm a strong believer that education is the leveler. No nation can rise above its education level. My Lagos is busy, high energy, and full of potential. I am Miss Anrawane. I'm a social entrepreneur. I am from Nigeria. It is important for me to start the day with a run, reconnect with the city, remind myself of what I need to get done for the day, and just sort of get my to-do list in my head.
Misan's to-do list is long, and Nigeria's young people are right at the top.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So my name is Miss Anrawane. I'm co-founder and CEO of WAVE. WAVE stands for West Africa Vocational Education. We're a not-for-profit organization. Our big mission is income transformation to ensure that every young African has access to the skills and the opportunity to become what they imagine. We started with 12 young people in a classroom. I looked at them and said, hey, you don't know me from anywhere, but I promise you I won't go to bed at night until I get as many of you a job as possible. Welcome to the next 3.5 weeks. Here you're going to learn skills such as communication skills, effective communication, problem-solving skills, how to manage your time.
Misan, who wanted to be a teacher at a young age, was in school in the United States when she and other students came up with the idea of WAVE.
I founded WAVE in 2013. I was at Harvard Business School at the time, and I had met with other West Africans who were equally passionate about the youth potential and the youth opportunity that was being wasted on the continent.
Desperate to harness that potential, Misan moved back to Lagos after graduation and threw herself into helping young adults market themselves.
So most of the students that come through a WAVE program are living on less than $2 a day. Most of them do not have access to a college education. The average age is in their early 20s, and most of them are looking for a leg up just to get a foot in the door in the formal economy. Most of them are working in micro-entrepreneurship, hustling on the streets to make a living, and this is the first time they're going to get access to a steady income. We're going to go check out one of our alumni. Her name is Salma. She graduated from WAVE about 4.5 years ago, and now she's a women's fashion designer. Hi, Salma.
Hi, Miss.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Same here.
How goes it?
Good, good.
Misan drops in on her former students every year to see how the training is paying off.
Well, one of it is the communication, basically. That's been able to help me years with clients, and yeah, you know the way I used to be. Very rude when I talk, but now I've been able to apply emotional intelligence and then be able to talk to clients the best way I can communicate with them and then understand them better.
At WAVE, the young people that we train in various vocational skills will go into various vocations in different industries, and Paul chose to go into the culinary line, so we're very excited to see Paul today.
You know, when we were at WAVE, we did multitasking skills, you know, so that's one of those things that really helped me. Problem-solving skills, being able to prioritize, you know, what is important, what is urgent, and what is not important but is very urgent.
All right, Paul,
Thank you very much. Bye.
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 Successful job placements are a source of funding for Wave.
We have funder partners from all over the world, primarily in the US. We have some local funding partners. And then a third of our revenues actually come from our fees. So our academies, when we connect young people to jobs, we then charge a training fee, which they pay only after they find work. We charge a recruitment fee to our employers, who also pay when they hire our young people. But majority of our funding does come from philanthropy. Hi guys. Great, how's it going? Good, okay, so what's on the agenda today?
Even though she has many eager participants in the program, not everyone is the right fit.
In the next 10 years, I see Wave playing this role of a systems builder, working with educators to strengthen the education system, working with industry to make their practices a lot more inclusive of the disadvantaged young people who need a leg up in this country. I hope that the work that we are doing will make a dent in the education to employment system. In Nigeria today, we have the next Zuckerberg, the next Gates, whatever you name it, the next Oprah, and that young person is just waiting, getting ready for that opportunity to meet their talent. And magic.
1, 2, 3.
Wow!